What sort of messages are you taking back from your travels across Asia? I mean, there are the usual calls for change.
I've been in Asia for 2 days, so I'm not...
But the usual calls for changes in the IMF and the World Bank to be more reflective of what the real world is today, that's one of the main messages.
Well, that's a main political message, but that doesn't solve the problem. I mean, we can change the nameplates, we can change the particular countries involved, but the hard, real issue remains to get resolved. And countries have their own particular interests that are very hard to reconcile. It takes a great leap of analysis and imagination to create a system that individual countries will recognize as in their mutual benefit, even though it limits their own freedom of action to some extent. You have to have some rules, and they have to be well understood rules, and people have to be willing to follow them. We don't have that now. We don't have it sufficiently. So that's a real challenge. It's another reason we need some patience. So you're not going to reform the international monetary system tomorrow. But I do think it needs some reform.
I want to focus a little bit about yourself. You know, you have the ear of the United States president. He listens to you, well, economic advisor.
I wouldn't exaggerate that.
But who do you listen to in terms of getting fresh perspectives that adds to your?
I'm an old man. All my perspectives are old, maybe too old. We need younger people out there to provide the leadership.
What are they telling you in your conversations with some of these young people?
Well, some of them tell me I'm too old-fashioned. I say, well, I'm old-fashioned in a way, but I want to go backwards so we have a firmer future.
We're coming very close to the end of the year, 2011. What do you envisage is likely to be the biggest challenge for the Obama administration?
Well, at this point, it looks like it's not going to just be a challenge for the Obama administration. Mr. Obama is the president. But part of the Congress, anyway, is going to be Republican. So it's a challenge how to get some constructive action with the administration and the Congress together. I think it's fair to say in the last 2 years that cooperation has not worked for whatever reason. It's been antagonistic consistently. And I don't know what's going to happen, but if that continues, it doesn't bode well for, in my judgment, for the kind of change that is necessary and will impede the change that's necessary rather than contribute to it. So I hope there's a different attitude with a real change in the Congress.
What would you tell President Obama?
Well, I tell President Obama that he obviously has to recognize this change, and I hope from his standpoint he will make a contribution toward the kind of cooperative behavior we need, but that takes two. And I'm not capable of making a prediction as to how it will work out. I hope ironically, I hope it's a better environment than when the Democrats were in control on both sides, but that's a hope.
So to wrap up, Dr. Volcker, any parting thoughts?
I'm going to spend most of the next 2 weeks in Asia, but it's amazing to see this part of the world so strong and growing. Only, a little more than 10 years after the Asian financial crisis, when it appeared that Asia was in big trouble. And since that time, enormous progress has been made, which I think should bode well for the future. But we have a lot of changes that have to be made in the United States for sure, but in Asia as well.
Dr. Volcker, thank you very much for speaking to us on Channel News Asia. Thank you.